It's the second day after the off-cycle governorship elections, and winners have now emerged in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states. Both incumbent governors in these elections have been returned, and the ruling party APC won in Kogi state. You're watching Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Oguntoye. We're back reviewing political developments across the country after the just concluded off-cycle elections. You can join the conversation right now on X, formerly Twitter, using hashtag Beyond 100 Days. Remember to tag at TVC News On. Our camera lens are still up and bright in Bayelsa State, where INEC moments ago announced the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Governor Douye Diri, winner of the off-cycle governorship election in the state. Results from 7 local governments were earlier announced, while that of Southern Ajaka took some time before it was declared by the returning officer. The event, however, witnessed a mild drama earlier when aggrieved party supporters engaged in a free-for-all following disagreements over what actually happened in Brass local government area. But unlike what we witnessed in Owerri, security agents intervened to keep the situation under control. TVC News' Joseph Kunde is live in Yenagoa, where he's been monitoring the collation and announcement of the results. Joseph, some of the party agents refused to sign the result sheet earlier at the collation center. What exactly are their grievances?
Well, some of it is born to the fact that the way the results were being announced from the polling units down to the local government collation center and of course to the state collation center that happens to be the INEC headquarters here in Yenagoa. They felt that the processes that was being followed was not the right one that was supposed to be followed. And some others also felt like INEC at some point was taking sides, in the sense that some people will lay complaints about certain things that they observed that happened based on their agents that was on the polling units, and the way INEC was responding to those grievances. They felt that INEC shouldn't be a judge over those matters. For some persons, INEC would tell them, okay, just write, go ahead and write, put it into writing. For others, INEC will actually go ahead to say, okay, this is how we want these things to be done. So they felt, no, that is not what should be done. That was why they felt like if we accept this result coming through from INEC, it means that we're accepting everything the way it is. But the bottom line is, yes, some did not accept some did not sign the result, but others actually went ahead in doing that today. And talking about doing that, I have someone here with me, 2 of them actually, but I'll take them side by side. They have been around, and of course they are from the People's Democratic Party. And one thing that he said is that we saw the governor of Delta State here today. We saw the governor of Taraba State here today, and of course other ones coming through. I'm sure while you saw them, your mind went through a whole lot of things today. First off, the governor has gone through 4 years. This is another 4 years that is coming through, and I saw the way a lot of people were reacting to it. What's your take about it?
Yeah, it just shows the overwhelming support from the citizens. Its disposition, like we had always talked about, the hallmark of his administration is the peace, that people have enjoyed. Without peace, you can't go about your bridges. Without peace, you can't do a lot of things. Without peace, even the achievements in infrastructure and other areas would not be appreciated by the people, and everybody is just happy because willingly the governor is what the people want, and all I can say is that for members of the People's Democratic Party and supporters, we should just carry this victory with a lot of humility.
Now, talking about carrying the victory to out of humility, there were some particular areas that you want to call flashpoints. At some point, it became worrying, particularly when the governor voted as early as 8:30 in the morning on Saturday, and then he was calling to a local government, precisely Nembe. And then we also heard about scenarios that happened in Braz and some others in Southern Niger. What was the take of the political party at that period?
You see, between you and I, it's just like they say that when you throw stone into a market, you never can tell who is going to touch. Considering what has happened in view of your question, we can't deny the fact that for unnecessary reasons, a supporter of the PDP was beaten to death in Brass. That's not what we should encourage. That a whole sector of a local government, Basambri, was held hostage, and people with personalities not less than 7 senior advocates of Nigeria were turned back from their communities not to vote for the sake of politics. These are not the things that should be reinforced. And talk about the other things that happen in southern Niger. For people, for officials of INEC, federal officers, to be kidnapped, held hostage, held at gunpoint to write results in favor of the other party. These are not things that we should condone. In the interest of the nation and in the interest of moving forward, okay, as I talk now, you can't say I'm trying to say it to be politically correct, okay, but we are talking about human lives. We are talking about the sanctity of our country. We are talking about the promotion of our laws. You know, we are talking about upholding rules and regulations. You get? So these are not things that should be encouraged. And I'm appealing to the federal government, the president and the presidency, to look into these issues. But I won't also stop without saying I commend the security agencies who defended democracy. Security agencies from the army, from the DSS, and others who defended democracy, and at highest level of, should I say, inducement, they refused and stood. You see, people can just go to TV because they want to be politically correct in this area.
Some updates there from Bayelsa.
Yeah,
Move now to Kogi State, where the candidate of the Social Democratic Party in the November 11, 2023 governorship election, Mutal Ajaka, is alleging that the election was rigged in favor of Usman Ododo of the All Progressives Congress. Mr. Ajaka says approaching the courts to contest the outcome of this poll is a waste of time, as INEC would come as a witness to defend the outcome of the election. Mr. Ajaka is right here with me in our Abuja studio. Thank you for joining us on the program. I remember we had a conversation here exactly 1 week ago, and you were quite upbeat and confident that this election was going to go your way. What exactly happened?
INEC disappointed us. Yes. The INEC officials sent to Kogi State, the officials of INEC compromised the process. And that's why I said yesterday that the INEC chairman, has to do thorough audit, thorough investigation of the officials that went to Kogi State.
We had an exclusive interview with you, recall, on the morning of the election. I think it was just about when you cast your vote.
Yeah.
And you had great things to say about INEC.
Yes.
At what point did that change?
No, I still have confidence in INEC. Of course, in every establishment, there are always the bad elements within. It's not everybody here that's the perfect person. The INEC management, I have no doubt about their leadership. But the officials that went to Kogi State are the ones that compromised the process in conjunction with the officials of the state government. They are the ones that compromised the election. Because it's baffling. How did the result sheet get to the people, to the state government official, especially people from the central? Before the commencement of the election, the results are out. God has a way of exposing criminals.
Well, when you raised that concern, INEC also responded. They, in fact, responded twice. We understand that 9 wards in a particular local government area were suspended. But INEC also now gave us some details as to particular polling units that were affected. In Adavi, it says it's 5 polling units.
And that's why I say the officials, they are not sincere. Especially the federal commissioner that spoke after the declaration of the results yesterday, I think Mr. Sani. People like that, they ought to be investigated. Because I want to believe, with all due respect to this person, is one of the mastermind of the illegality that we had in Kogi State.
What are your own figures? Because INEC's figure is saying in Adavi and Ajakuta, only 5 polling units were affected, and 1 polling unit in Okei and in Okene.
That is not true. The entire polling unit in Okene local government, Adavi local government, and Okei local government were affected, except 1 polling unit in Okei, where they allowed the process to flow. And that was the polling unit where the senator voted, Senator Natasha Apoti. That's the only place the election took place there.
But were you expecting to win in this local government?
No.
Before the allegations?
Well, in all sincerity, I was not expecting to win. But I was expecting a free and fair process in this three local government. And that will never get.
If you have proof that the election was manipulated, why were you quoted to have said you are not interested in going to court?
No, you see...
Because INEC at some point corroborated your story, acknowledged that there might have been some manipulation, and that's why election was suspended in some wards.
They didn't suspend anything. I was disappointed in INEC. They told us that they are going to audit and investigate their officials to know the extent of their involvement. And we believed them. But the same result that we're questioning, you can imagine in Okene local government alone, 130-something thousand people voted, and INEC is saying they don't know what happened. They allowed that to pass. The Kenya local government is bigger than Okene local government. The same thing in Ampa. But these two local governments recorded less than 50% turnout, in spite of the enthusiasm and the emotional attachment to the election. So how come? Because this Okene and Ampa, they are on the same pedestrian. How come in Okene we registered 90% turnout, while in the Kenya and Ampa we registered less than 50% turnout?
You're saying that is not possible?
It's not possible.
Because the figures that INEC is giving in Okene is actually 138,416 for the APC. But that is quite lower than the number of accredited voters, 141,898. So, within the law is acceptable, but you must now be able to prove.
Look, yes. There is no election anywhere in Okene. That's what I'm telling you.
People did not come out to vote?
Yeah, of course. Check the accreditation. There was a low turnout. It's just unfortunate that the INEC officials that were sent to Kogi State compromised this process. That's why I said yesterday, if we are new that this is the way they are going, we would have known how to approach them. But we believe everything, we believe all the arrangement. But what happened before that day? These people have the result sheet at hand. They have taken custody of the result sheet. Now they are manipulating the beavers now. They are manipulating the RF now to confirm what they have declared. It's just unfortunate. And if, like I said yesterday, Professor Mahmoud allowed this to be, then his own integrity too is on the line.
Did you have party agents in these 4 local government areas?
Of course we did. These guys.
And do they have original copies?
Where did they see any copy? These guys in the governor and his group. When I say his group, they're mistaking me to be saying I'm referring to the entire Central. Yaya Bello and his group will not allow anybody in Central there to have a different view, different opinion on the election. That's the truth. So our agents were not allowed to go near any of this polling unit. But while in the other part of the place, both in the west and in the east, everything moves smoothly. Even though there was vote buying, but that is even more civil than this oppression, chasing people, not allowing people to come to the polling unit in the Central.
That is also
what
criminal.
We have.
That is also criminal according to law.
It is, but that is not intimidation. That one is inducement. Compared to this one, both inducement and intimidation, they don't allow you to come near the polling unit. What I'm saying, like the federal government on their part provided the necessary security for the election. And I think too, all the arrangement as a prelude to the election was perfect. Just these 3 days to the election, somehow the result sheet get into the hand of the state government official in these 5 local government of Central, and they wrote the result.
So,
and we reported this to INEC. You see, they're supposed to investigate the ICT department and the officials that went to this Central, but INEC is not doing that. We've put forward a letter before the chairman. We've not had anything. But I had the chairman, the federal commissioner in charge of North Central, talking yesterday on television that they have gone through. His son for that matter. It's just unfortunate.
So the areas where you're alleging manipulation are strongholds of the other parties. Let's talk about what happened in your own, areas where you were expected to perform very well. In Dekina, the number of accredited voters was 60,000 out of the 187,000 people that were registered to vote, and you were able to garner some 47,000, votes in that area. In Eda, you got 20,000, but then the turnout is also very abysmal when you look at 23,000 accredited voters compared to 64,000.
That's what I'm
voters.
telling you.
Are you concerned that perhaps your own people also did not come out en
They didn't
masse
come
to
out.
vote?
What I'm telling you, what we have in Central is not a true reflection of the turnout that happened. What I'm telling you. And the INEC official, get me right, the INEC official that went to the state are the one that compromised the election. If they do their checklist, they know who went there. The beavers, like in Bayelsa State, a result was put forward. When they checked what they brought and what is in the beaver, it does not correspond. They cancelled that result. But in the case of Okene, Adavi, and Kogi, including some part of Ajaka, it's the same thing. But INEC refused to reject the result. And the law is very clear. The same INEC official now, in conjunction with the ICT department now, if you go to the RF now, they are changing the accreditation there. So it's so unfortunate. That's why I said yesterday, what is happening, and if INEC continue this way, I'm afraid democracy might have problem. Because if you don't allow people to express themselves in a manner the law prescribes, they will come out in different form. And God forbid, that's not what we want in this country. I assure you, presidency have started on a good note. And we must not allow this element within the cycle of government to perpetuate this kind of act, because it's not good for us.
So what do you intend to do now?
Just like I said yesterday, out of anger, I said I'm not going to court, because when you go to court, it's the same INEC official that will come and defend this illegality they have done. But on the second thought, there are people supporting me. My supporters are saying, no, we must go to court and ventilate our anger to put the judiciary on trial again.
Do you think you have enough evidence to prove these allegations?
Of course we do. But you see, I've been around. I've spent 10 years in opposition before God help us in 2015 through APC to get to the government. I know what we went through.
You are not suggesting in any way that the judiciary is easily manipulated.
You see,
because
if you go
how come you've lost so much confidence in the court?
You see, when you go to the court, except God help you. But that does not. I'm not condemning the judiciary. Please get me right. But in most cases, you see glaring cases, the outcome is always different from the expectation, and they will tell you it is based on what they plead before them that they act on it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a layman, but it gives me fear. What I've been seeing coming out. You see somebody win his election, clean, clear. But somebody will come in a way of technicality and knock out that victory. And again, most of these things, I don't blame them. I blame the National Assembly. But in some cases, again, when you see once the National Assembly make a law, by the time the case goes to Supreme Court, once they give a new judgment, it becomes a precedent. That law becomes a nullity. So the problem, I don't even know where to tackle it from.
It is customary of governors-elect to extend an olive branch to the opponents in the election. If that happens in the case of Governor-elect Ododo, will you be, willing to let go?
No. I want to get
work
you.
with him?
No. How? I'm not going to work with Ododo. They are the same thing. I don't have anything personal against Ododo, but for me to work on Ododo, that can never happen. But so, the problem of the state, the problem of Kogi State is Yahaya Bello. Our problem in Kogi State is Yahaya Bello.
But Yahaya Bello is not governor-elect.
Excuse me, he's not governor, but he mastermind the emergence of Ododo. So that is the foundation. So there's this saying, show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are.
So let us paint the scenario of you going to court and then Ododo eventually wins in court and has to spend 4 years. Are you saying you're going to hand serve, governance in Kogi State, irrespective of how much contribution we made during campaigns in the next 4 years?
Nothing good will come out of these guys. So long as Yaya Bello is there, nothing good can come out of that place. But Yaya Bello is a problem in Kogi State. And except we're able to get him out of our way through the democratic process, the state will not make progress.
You agree that if you take a cue from Rivers State, and in our recent history, the relationships between godfathers and their godsons don't last forever. So Yahya Bello might not also be in the picture for long.
I hope so. If
will you transfer your anger towards Yahya Bello to Ododo if
no,
breaks up ties from his godfather?
No. I don't want, that is their own matter. I don't want to go into that. But the fraud in Kogi State, for us to get rid of these people, because you cannot separate the child from the mother. You cannot separate the child from the father. Yahya Bello is the one that make Ododo what it is. And if they are not of the same character, there is no way we will support him to become governor. Yahya Bello has bastardized Kogi State. He has promoted poverty to the highest level in the state. The state is in debt because of his actions. There is no, excuse me, yes. I'll give you an example now. You see empty building. If you are coming from Lokoja to this place now, immediately after Kotokarfi, you see a big building that they call, that it says the General Hospital. It's been overtaken by weed now. Mr.
Ajaka, the figures, are quite different from what you're saying. APC won with 446,000. You came second, 259,000. As a matter of fact, if you add all the figures, SDP, PDP, and APC together,
excuse me,
they don't match up to the figure of the APC.
Excuse me, even on the INEC Vows,
yes,
based on their own tabulation, they said what the main figure is, what the added there is 170 thousand.
All right.
And then when you come up to Ajakuta and part of Lokoja, so what they add on the figure there is over 200,000. So it's just unfortunate. You see, if INEC knew they're not ready to conduct election, that they're going to compromise us midway, everybody would have come out to contest this election in the first place. So it's annoying. We bring out people, we take our time to campaign around the state, waste our resources, waste our energy, exhaust our energy, only for INEC to ambush us midway. Is annoying.
Murtala Ajaka, candidate of the Social Democratic Party in Kogi State, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much, and please, you people should help to support democracy. You should put pressure on the INEC chairman, because the credibility of the institution is in fact, I don't know how to put it. If the chairman does not address the problem in Kogi State, I'm afraid there could be problem. Because what happened in Kogi State is a call to anarchy.
All right, that's our show today. Thanks for being a part of it, everyone. We're back tomorrow with another exciting one. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoyin. We're back with top of the hour news at 7. Stay with us. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a very